All right. Hello again. This is Foghorn with another installment of Flight School Academics for this, the 11th of May, 2954 or 2024. If you're stuck in the past, this presentation is part of an ongoing series of academics for the members of the Aurora Republic, the premier role-playing organization and Star Citizen. If you're new to the Aurora Republic or visiting for the first time, let me start by saying welcome. We're glad to have you with us. Love to hear from you if you're interested in hearing more from us. We are a lawful good organization focused on roleplay exploration and social interaction. Are currently active in recruiting on Spectrum and Gilded. Okay, it is Invictus is coming up in 6 days. It starts on Friday, this coming Friday. So we'll go through our normal prep talk that we always do just prior to an event like this, so everybody can be up to date on the who's who and the what's it's of all the good stuff on possible fleet management moves you may want to consider making. So it's from the 17th to the 29th of May. It will be at ArcCorp at the Bevic Convention Center there in Area 18. So plan your locations appropriately. And we'll get to enjoy the Bevic Convention Center again, which has been a little while. So there are things to do, sights to see, and of course there's a sale, so we'll go through all of those items real quick and then get into the verse and go play in 3.23, seeing as how it dropped last night. So Invictus, of course, like I said, is at the Bevic Convention Center. You'll be able to get there from either the spaceport or, of course, from Area 18 proper, if that's where you wake up, through the trams. So they've reorganized the trams. And so that they basically run in a three-sided loop, going from Area 18 to the spaceport to the Bevic Convention Center, and it go in with a tram going in each direction. So you can go straight from Area 18 to the Bevic, and if you end up jumping on the wrong tram and going to the spaceport, for example, if you just stay on that tram, then the next stop will be back at the Bevic Convention Center. So like I said, there's a tram that's going from Area 18 to the spaceport to the Bevic Convention Center back to Area 18, and there's one that's going the other way that goes from Area 18 to Bevic to the spaceport back to Area 18. Invictus launch week is also called Fleet Week. And it is for military vehicles only as far as the vehicle shows by manufacturer, different ones on different days. So you will not see a lot of the industrials. So it's not a full sale and show of every ship in the game, but it is all of the ones that are militarily oriented or combat oriented. You'll also be able to get a free 48-hour rental for any of the ships that are there. You can literally just walk out on the convention floor, hold F, or walk up and tap F, I guess now, on the ships, and it will kick open your mobiGlas, and it'll give you the purchase screen on your mobiGlas, but you'll notice that the purchase price is 0 for the rental, and it'll give you a 48-hour rental. Drake Interplanetary, of course, is, according to UEE lore, has been banned from Invictus because of their propensity to not give a shit who's flying their ships, and not rigorous enough anti-piracy practices. So to snub their noses back at the UEE for not inviting them, then at the same time that Invictus goes on the last 2 days of Invictus, then Drake Interplanetary puts on their own Defense Con, which will be at Riker Memorial Spaceport on the 25th and 26th, towards the end of Invictus, and that's where you'll see their vehicle show with the same 48-hour free rentals being available. Other activities up around in space, at the space stations, they will have the fleet will be flying around, going between the 4 Leos. So they spend, I believe it's about an hour and a half at each Leo station. So Seraphim, Vigini Point, Everest Harbor, and Port Tressler, they will just be flying back and forth around to each one of them. And it will be an entire fleet. So There will be a Bengal with a Javelin, several Idrises, Hammerhead, F8A Lightnings, and F7A Hornet Mark IIs will be in the fleet. And new this year, now the Polaris will also be joining the fleet. So the Polaris is far enough along that they can it can fly in verse. No, you will not. If you own a Polaris, you will not be getting it yet, but you will be able to fly up next to it and go see it as it's traveling around to the different stations. Word on the street is that the tour will be of the Idris, that the Idris will be the one that's parking instead of the Javelin like in years past. I don't know if they're planning on having both, but we do know that the Idris is what they're planning on, you being able to go land at that Leo station and go walk out down at the docking ports, walk out and go onto the Idris and walk around on the interior of the Idris, and in a style of having the UEE Navy doing like an open house and letting you see the interior of the Idris. There will be areas that I'm sure will be off limits, and there will be Marines present to keep you from going there, like we've seen in the past when it's been the Javelin that has the show and tell ability. And of course, there will also be a free fly / test fly of all the available flyable spacecraft that are on display. So citizens, of course, I already said we get the 48-hour free rental of that day's manufacturers. Civilians have a free to play. Civilians meaning non-backers. Will be a free to play during the entire time from the 17th through the 29th. So expect the servers to probably be dog shit with because they always seem to be whenever they have a free fly. And if you happen to be a Star Citizen guide, then this is of course the prime period for you to be doing guide sessions if you are so inclined. So if you do have friends who are maybe interested in thinking about possibly getting into Star Citizen and they're on the fence and still not sure, then the free fly is the perfect time for them to come in and try things without having to actually spend any money. If that is a friend of yours, then do please remember your referral code, because it gets them an extra $5,000 if they decide to actually convert and back the game. And then you also get credit. And depending on how many people have used your referral code, of course, there is that whole referral tier ladder of rewards for the more referrals that you get. All goodness. And then, of course, it's a sale. So we'll go through the three big things, manipulations you can make, hangar maintenance that you can do on your personal real world money owned fleet of ships. And they are, of course, the insurance rollover, use of an LTI token or purchase of an LTI token, and cross chassis upgrades, which is basically layaway for ships. So official disclaimer, my official recommendation is that you do not spend any more money on this game, on this development project, because it's not a game yet, other than a starter pledge. Everything else can be earned in game. So even though I'm about to tell you some ways to spend your money, my actual recommendation is that you don't. That having been said, so the first thing we'll go over is the rollover, how to improve the insurance for basically for free. So first off, if you own any ships that are war bond or already have LTI, which is really the same thing, then this is not for them. Okay. LTI is the best you can get as far as insurance. You can't make it any better. So if it's LTI, don't touch it. However, if you do not have LTI, or I should say, if the insurance that is being offered during the sale on a ship is better than the insurance you have on that same ship, like if you have, say you have a Mustang starter package and that Mustang only has 2 months insurance on it, then in the Invictus, and this is also the same at IAE in the fall, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in the fall, typically what they've been doing about the last 5 or 6 of these in a row, the ships that are sold there will be offered with 120-month insurance, aka 10 years. So if you've only got 2 months insurance on that Mustang, the first thing you need to do is check that the price has not changed, okay, between what you purchased that Mustang for and what it's being sold today. Starter ships typically are not going to go up in price, so this is almost always a sure thing. Okay, then what you do is you melt your Mustang in this example to turn its value into store credit, and then you turn around and repurchase that Mustang game package with the 120-month insurance using the store credit and for no new money. The only downside to this is if the price of the ship has gone up since you purchased it however many months and or years ago, then when you go to repurchase, you don't get the current price of the object. You get the price when you melt it, you get the price that you originally paid for it. So if you originally paid $50 for a ship 5 years ago, and that ship is now $55, if you do this, when you melt the ship, you don't get 55 worth of credit. You only get the 50 you originally paid worth of credit. And which means when you turn around to rebuy it, you'll end up having to put that extra $5 cash if it went up to 55. So check the price before you do this. Most aren't going to have gone up in price because most of the ships that most people are going to have that don't already have 10-year insurance or LTI on there are going to be those onesie twosies, like, their starter game package, their Aurora or their Mustang game package originally are the ones that usually only have like 2 or 6 months insurance on it. And those are the perfect ones to do this rollover and go, okay, melt it, turn around and immediately rebuy it using the store credit from it just to improve the insurance. This is 100% blessed by CIG. They know it. They set it up this way. They are perfectly cool with you doing it. LTI token is a second hangar maneuvering type thing you may want to be aware of and know how to do. And this is how to put LTI on something that LTI is not offered on anymore. Right now, the perfect candidate for this is the Mirai Pulse hover bike that just came out because it's extremely inexpensive. War bond for this thing is $25. That's one of the best LTI tokens I've heard of in a very, 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 very long time. So an LTI token is basically an inexpensive concept vehicle that you can purchase now with LTI, and then you can just upgrade it to a different ship later on. And when you upgrade it, the characteristics of that originally purchased ship inherit to the upgraded vehicle. So you buy a Mirai Pulse now. It has to be War Bond because War Bond is the only one that has LTI available on it. So which means you're going to be putting new cash into the game. Okay, so you have to buy a $25 War Bond Pulse, Mirai Pulse, and then you can use store credit or whatever you have available, money or store credit, to buy an upgrade token to whatever the ship is that you wish you had LTI on. And when you apply that upgrade to the Mirai Pulse and turn it into, say, a Saber, then that Saber now inherits the LTI from the base pledge of the Mirai Pulse. So, like I said, LTI is only offered on war bonds on concept vehicles. So make sure you look at the more info before you hit add to cart. Hit the more info and read and make sure it says it has lifetime insurance. That's what LTI stands for, is lifetime insurance. And the LTI token is so that you can move that LTI onto a ship that is no longer offered with LTI. So, and war bonds, the definition of the word war bond means it has to be new cash put into the game. It cannot be purchased with store credit. The upgrade from the LTI token to whatever can, but the base, the thing that originally has LTI has to be bought via war bond. So, like I said, you purchase the LTI token vehicle. In this case, we were, saying for this example, I was using the Mirai Pulse. You buy an upgrade to the vehicle that you want, and then when you apply the upgrade, that LTI is inherited. Cross chassis upgrades is basically layaway for spaceships. It's a way to purchase an upgrade for a vehicle that you don't own to a vehicle that you currently can't afford at the moment, but the vehicle that you want and you can't afford right now won't be available later. So this technique, the actual CCU, the cross chassis upgrade, when you purchase it, is an actual token that ends up in your RSI website hangar, the hangar on the website. And it's there, and it has a apply upgrade button in that token for when you want to apply it. So you can actually purchase these and leave them sitting in your hangar unused for as long as you want until you can. So what you do is you go on the RS website, you go to the pledge store, and you go to ship upgrades. When the ship upgrade page here in the lower right shows up, you have a from column and a to column. You're going to upgrade from what to what. It initially starts with a default of the radio button for my ships only. Selected, you want to change that over to the all ships radio button. And then you can choose the from upgrade vehicle. The upgrade from vehicle, you want to make sure that is one that is regularly available, even though you don't own it. So say, for example, you don't own a Gladius, but Gladiuses are always sold. You don't have to wait for an Invictus sale or an IAE sale or a Christmas time sale. You can always go in and get a Gladius. You can always go in and get, I think, a Nomad. So you want to make sure that on the from side, it's a vehicle that is regularly available. And then on the to upgrade to side is the vehicle that you want but can't afford right now. If that's not if that one is not regularly available, obviously, if the one you wanted to upgrade to is always available, you're just like, I just want to upgrade to a Cutlass Black. Well, they sell Cutlass Black 24/7, 365. You don't have to wait for the special sales. You don't need to do a CCU for that. You just wait until you got the money and then go purchase it. If you're really hard over rudder about wanting to own the Cutlass Black with real world cash. This CCU is to buy those things that are not regularly available. They're only available right now during IAE or Invictus or Christmas sale. And you want to be able to get them even when they're not available. That's when you use this. So the thing is with the CCU, you're only going to purchase, the cost of the CCU token is only the difference between the vehicle on the left column and the vehicle on the right column. The from to the to. So for example, say you really wanted a Drake Vulture, but you don't want to wait till the next time it's going to be on sale at, like IAE. But say you don't have the $175 for that Vulture, but you do have $85 that you can part with right now without sinking the family budget, right? So in other words, you're short that $90. So the trick is to find, for the left side column, the upgrade from column, you want to find a ship that only costs $90 normally. For example, that Gladius. The Gladius is regularly available. It only costs $90. Therefore, you can buy with your $85 the difference from the Gladius to the Vulture for that $85. And the token, like what I show over here on the right, is what will show up in your RSI hangar on the website. It'll say upgrade from Gladius to Vulture. It'll have what is that, 8-9 digit serial number for it. It'll say how much that melt value of this token is worth, because you can melt these as well to turn that cash back into store credit. You'll notice the melt value will say whatever the price you paid for it is, and it'll say it contains a Gladius to Vulture upgrade, and it'll have two buttons, one to exchange for store credit and the other for apply the upgrade. And that can live in your RSI hangar inventory for as long as you want until you decide to apply it. when you do apply it, then if you want to apply it, then you have to go get your hands on that Gladius, and it can't be purchasing the Gladius in game. You're going to have to purchase the Gladius for real. So once you have that token can sit waiting in your hangar for however long you want. So if it takes you another six months or whatever to save up the $90 for that Gladius in this example, then you go then even if there's no sale going on right now, you just go purchase the Gladius. You go into your hangar, you hit the you hit the apply on the upgraded token, apply it to your Gladius, and that Gladius turns into the Vulture in this example. Just like I said, so you when you're ready to apply, you go in, you find that token, you hit the apply button. It brings up a window that says apply the upgrade, and it says, hey, you're about to do a Gladius to a Vulture. If you have multiple Gladiuses, real world money purchased Gladiuses, and they'll have them stacked up here, then you'll have to pick which one based on the serial number, which one you want to apply it to. You pick it, you hit next. It gives you another confirmation window. Are you doubly, triply sure you want to apply this? Because once you apply it, it can't go backwards. And then if you hit yes again, then where you used to have a Gladius in that hangar, it will now say Vulture. You'll notice that the melt value will be the full value of all the money that you put in. So the $90 for the Gladius plus the $85 for the CCU for a total of $175. No different than if you had just outright purchased a Vulture right off the bat. And you'll now that entry into your hangar will now say that it contains a Vulture and however many other items, but it'll also say base pledge, and it'll have listed what the original underlying base pledge was that you turned into a Vulture. All right, sorry about that. I had to cough there a sec. All right, you can also chain CCUs, which means buying multiple CCUs that upgrade ship A to ship B to ship C to ship D, all the way up to the end when you want. And there are some real wizards in our group at doing CCUs. Daily's probably one of the best at it. Exnor's pretty darn good at it too, I think. There's a few others out there, so if I've forgotten who else has made themselves a master of CCU chaining, you have my apologies. But along with a lot of these sales that go on at Invictus or IAE or Christmas or all that kind of stuff, they'll often offer discounts like, hey, you can buy the Gladius for 10% off. Well, if you purchase a CCU involving that vehicle, whether it's the from or the to, you will be able to lock in that savings percentage because of the price that's involved will take into account that discount. Doing that and doing multiple CCUs of ship A to ship B, ship C to ship D, that kind of stuff. There are some folks who have gotten $600 ships for as cheap as $200 real world cash by just simply strategically over time purchasing CCUs when there was a discount involved like that. Daly's got a spreadsheet that for all of the CCUs that he's done. This is not fast. So this is sort of playing the long game. Because some of these CCU change, you have to, you're like, okay, I kind of need something to get me from the $65 to the $85 point. And you may have CCUs chained up above that and below that already, and you have a gap in there, and you're kind of waiting for the right thing for you to be able to go, okay, that'll get me from this ship to that ship. That'll get me from the $65 ship to the $85 ship. Oh, by the way, that $85 ship is on sale for 25% off. So I can get that gap from ship A to ship B, but get it for less than what it should normally cost. And it's kind of real wizardry the way it can happen. But you have to be patient and look for the good deals. So ask the vets in the group. And by vets, I mean the old head Star Citizen players, not necessarily military veterans. Okay, once again, Don't spend any money you don't have. Don't spend any more money that you're not willing to part with. This is still only a development project, and you do not need to be spending any more money than just the starter pledge. Everything else is earnable in game. The last couple of patches have gone out of our way to prove that that's actually the case. You can go earn 890 jumps and reclaimers and all that kind of stuff by grinding. Okay, that wraps up this installment of Academics with Foghorn. Hope you found it interesting and helpful. If you have any questions I didn't answer, please feel free to contact me via email, Gilded, or Spectrum, or of course, comment section below. If you're watching this later, I'll answer to the best of my ability as quickly as I see it. Hit those follow, subscribe buttons as appropriate. Comment your comments in the comments. You can find out more information about Aurora Republic at our bespoke website of aurorarepublic.space, or of course on the less bespoke website of robertspaceindustries.com/org/AuroraRep. See you next time. Foghorn signing off, wishing you a very pleasant remainder of your morning, afternoon, and or evening. Thanks so very much for watching.